Quick disclaimer before we start. Everything in this video is my own personal opinion and analysis, not financial advice, and not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Please do your own research before making any investment decision. 6 days ago, our system found something unusual. 14 Korean stocks that matched almost metric for metric the exact statistical fingerprint of a single reference stock, 417970 modelsollution. A stock deep in a sell-off showing early signs of a technical bottom. Deep drop below its 50-day average, high volatility, oversold RSI, a MACD hook turning up in negative territory, and volume that had gone quiet, the classic signature of a stock about to turn. We call this Dip Dönüş Profil Eşleme, bottom reversal profile matching. The idea is simple. If one stock's exact numerical profile tends to precede a bounce, other stocks sharing that same profile right now might be setting up for the same move. We flagged 15 names. Then we did something most channels never do. We came back 6 days later with today's live numbers to see what actually happened. The answer is not what you'd hope. 14 out of 15 fell further. The average move over 6 days was negative 8%. Only one name, just one, actually went up. And the reference stock itself, 417970, the one this entire profile was built around, is still down almost 6% and still hasn't turned. This is not a video celebrating a winning strategy. This is a transparent look at what a deep dip early reversal watch list actually looks like 6 days later. The successes, the continued pain, and why catching a falling knife is exactly as risky as it sounds. All 15 names, today's real prices, today's real indicators. Let's go through them. 4610-3DX, a South Korean health technology company working in diagnostics and molecular testing, a sector that's been under heavy pressure across the board this year as funding for smaller biotech and diagnostics names has dried up. Price is $3,175 today, down 8.9% on the day alone, one of the sharper single-day drops in this entire list. 6 days ago, this stock traded at $3,510. Today's price represents a further 9.5% decline since we first flagged it. RSI sits at 33.7, still deep in oversold territory, not yet showing real recovery. ATR is 11.3%, meaning this stock is moving over a tenth of its value in a typical day, extreme volatility even for a small health tech name. Price is now 69.6% of its 50-day average, meaning it's roughly 30% below that average, deeper below than when we first scanned it. Relative volume is 0.86x, still below average, meaning the selling hasn't triggered a volume spike yet. Technical rating remains sell. Beta is a very low 0.30, so this stock doesn't move much with the broader market. Its decline has been driven by company-specific pressure, not a market-wide sell-off. On the financial side, EBITDA growth is a modest plus 3.8% and net income is roughly flat at minus 0.2%. Not a collapsing business, just a battered stock. 417970 modelsollution. This is the reference stock, the one this entire profile matching system was built around. Modelsollution is a Korean manufacturer, and understanding what happens to this specific stock is the whole point of tonight's check-in. Price is $10,390 today, down 6.1% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at $11,040, meaning even the original template stock is still down 5.9% since we identified its profile. If the reversal hasn't started here yet, it's a fair question whether it's started anywhere on this list. RSI is 35.7, ATR is 10.0%, and price sits at 73.6% of its 50-day average. All three numbers remarkably close to where they were 6 days ago, meaning this stock has essentially been drifting sideways at a lower low rather than reversing. Relative volume is 0.95x, right around average. Technical rating is sell. Beta is nearly zero at 0.06. This stock moves almost independently of the broader Korean market. The one genuinely bright spot, EBITDA growth of plus 50.5% and net income growth of 52.3% year over year, plus a 2.5% dividend yield. Modelsollution's underlying business is actually doing well even while the stock price keeps falling. A reminder that fundamentals and price action don't always move together in the short term. 4841 TXR Robotics, a Korean manufacturing company building robotics and automation equipment, a sector tied closely to South Korea's broader industrial and export cycle. Price is 8,740 today, down 4.7% on the day. 6 days ago, this traded at 9,800, a 10.8% decline since we flagged it, one of the larger drops in this group. RSI is 34.1, ATR is a very high 11.3%, and price is at 69.2% of its 50-day average, among the deepest of the 15 names. Relative volume is 0.88x. Technical rating is sell. Beta of 0.69 puts this stock roughly two-thirds as volatile as the broader market. The financial picture here is genuinely rough. EBITDA down 83.2% and net income down a dramatic 642% year over year. This isn't just a technical dip. The underlying business has deteriorated sharply, which may explain why the stock hasn't found its footing. 476080M83, a Korean consumer services company, a sector that tends to be sensitive to domestic spending confidence. Price is 3,555 today, down 6.3% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at 3,890, an 8.6% decline since we first saw it on this list. RSI is 37.4, ATR is 12.5%, one of the highest volatility readings here, and price sits at 71.7% of its 50-day average. Relative volume is right at 1.0x, exactly average. Technical rating is sell. Beta is actually slightly negative at -0.02, meaning this stock has shown almost no correlation with the broader market's direction recently. Its moves are purely company-specific. Net income swung sharply negative year over year, though the scale of that swing suggests a small base effect rather than a fundamental collapse. Worth digging into the underlying numbers before drawing conclusions. 3D7090 Furonteer, another Korean health technology name on this list, bringing our health tech count to 2 so far, reflecting how hard that sector has been hit broadly. Price is 6,880 today, down 2.7% on the day, one of the smaller daily drops here. 6 days ago, it traded at 7,190, a more modest 4.3% decline since we flagged it. Among the better holding names on this list, even though it's still negative. RSI is 34.6, ATR is 9.2%, comparatively lower volatility for this group. And price is at 74.2% of its 50-day average, close to the 417970 reference level. Relative volume is 1.38x, meaningfully above average, suggesting real trading interest has picked up. Technical rating is sell. Beta of 0.32 keeps this in low market correlation territory. EBITDA is down 14.4% and net income down 166% year over year. Still a business under real pressure, even as the stock's decline has been comparatively gentler than its peers. 32813 Lunit, a Korean technology services company working in AI-powered medical imaging and diagnostics, one of the more recognizable growth names on this particular list. Price is 9,970 today, down a sharp 8.0% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at 11,120, a 10.3% decline since we flagged it, and notably, its technical rating has now been downgraded to strong sell. Worse than when we first scanned it, not better. RSI is 30.8, genuinely deep oversold territory, on the edge of extreme. ATR is 11.1%, price sits at 71.2% of its 50-day average. Relative volume is 1.12x, modestly elevated. Beta of 0.31 is on the lower side. Financially, EBITDA growth of plus 1.7% and net income growth of 2.9% show a business that's still growing, even modestly, while the stock has been repriced sharply lower, the kind of gap between price and fundamentals worth watching. 217820. Wonik PNE, a Korean manufacturing company supplying equipment and materials tied to the battery and display industries, sectors that have seen significant capital spending swings recently. Price is 1,781 today, down 5.6% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at 1,900, a 6.3% decline since we flagged it, one of the smaller moves on this list. RSI is 36.9, ATR is 9.5%, and price is at 74.5% of its 50-day average, right in line with the 41,17970 reference profile. Relative volume is 1.22x above average. Technical rating is sell. Beta of 0.61 puts it at roughly 60% of market volatility. The financial picture is a genuine bright spot here. EBITDA growth of 28.1% and net income growth of plus 51.9% year over year, one of the stronger earnings stories in this entire list, even as the stock keeps drifting lower. 32399 Vaxcell-Bio Therapeutics, our third health technology name on this list, a Korean biotech developer. Price is $3,955 today, down 6.7% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at $4,420, a 10.5% decline since we flagged it, and like Lunit earlier, its technical rating has slipped to strong sell. RSI is 33.2, ATR is 11.7%. Stock RSI-K sits at 49.1. Notably lower than most names on this list, suggesting momentum has genuinely cooled rather than staying stretched. Price is at 73.2% of its 50-day average. Relative volume is a very quiet 0.32x, the lowest on this entire list, meaning almost nobody is actively trading this name right now, for better or worse. Beta of 0.12 keeps it nearly market neutral. EBITDA growth of plus 6.9% is modest and positive, but net income is down 36.2% year over year, a mixed financial picture matching its mixed technical one. A 5897 row, a Korean commercial services company, a sector broad enough to include everything from logistics support to business process outsourcing. Price is $14,750 today, down 5.4% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at $16,380, a full 10% decline since we flagged it, and its technical rating has also fallen to strong sell. RSI is 30.8, ATR is 10.1%, price is at 70.0% of its 50-day average. Relative volume is 0.72x, still below average. Beta of 0.69 is on the higher side for this group. The financial picture here is the weakest on the list so far. EBITDA down over 100% year over year, and net income down over 103%, a business that has swung from profit to loss territory, which likely explains why this stock hasn't found buyers despite looking statistically oversold. 48699 Nota, a Korean technology services company and the single worst performer of all 15 names on this list since we first flagged it. Price is $17,630 today, down a steep 7.8% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at $20,950. A brutal 15.8% decline since we flagged it, nearly double the average move of this entire group. RSI is 32.6, ATR is 13.3%, the highest volatility reading on this list. Price is at just 66.9% of its 50-day average. The deepest below average reading here, meaning the sell-off has actually accelerated rather than stabilized. Stock RSI-K has collapsed to 33.0, the lowest on this list, and critically, the MACD line has now crossed below its signal line, meaning the bullish hook that got this stock onto our list in the first place has completely reversed into a bearish signal. This is the clearest example on tonight's list of a profile match that has since broken down entirely, a genuine falling knife warning, not a completed bottom. 134,580, Topco Media, a Korean electronic technology company, and the only name on this entire 15-stock list that is actually up since we first flagged it 6 days ago. Price is $1,066 today, up 0.3% on the day and up 4.8% over the past week, the best weekly performance here by a wide margin. 6 days ago, it traded at $1,050, meaning this is the single genuine success story on tonight's list, up 1.5% since we flagged it. RSI is 42.4. The healthiest reading in this entire group, well clear of oversold territory. Price has recovered to 83.7% of its 50-day average, by far the closest to fully recovering of any name here. Stock K is 91.5, genuinely strong momentum. Technical rating is still technically sell on paper, but every other number here is telling a different story. Beta is a low 0.16. Net income is up a strong 89.0% year over year. If there's one name on this list where the dip reversal thesis has actually started to play out, this is it. A useful reminder that even within a list that mostly went wrong, individual names can still behave very differently. 372170 Yunsung F&C, a Korean manufacturing company, and our fifth name from that sector on this list, reflecting how concentrated this particular dip reversal profile has been in Korean industrial names. Price is $16,370 today, down 3.7% on the day, a relatively modest move for this group. 6 days ago, it traded at $17,210, a 4.9% decline since we flagged it. Among the smaller losses here, RSI is 34.8, ATR is 9.1%, price is at 72.1% of its 50-day average. Relative volume is 1.25x above average. Technical rating is sell. Beta of 0.58 is roughly mid-pack. The financial swing here is dramatic. EBITDA down 204% and net income down 176% year over year. A business that has clearly hit real operational trouble, alongside a modest dividend yield of 0.47% that's likely to come under pressure if these trends continue. 067080 Dae Hwa Pharmaceutical, our fourth and final health technology name on this list, a Korean pharmaceutical manufacturer. Price is 9,120 today, actually up 2.1% on the day, a rare green candle in this list. 6 days ago, it traded at 9,230, meaning it's down just 1.2% since we flagged it, essentially flat, and one of only 2 names here holding close to break-even. RSI is 40.00, comfortably the healthiest reading outside of Topco Media. Weekly performance is flat at 0.0%, meaning this stock has genuinely stabilized rather than continuing to fall. Price is at 81.6% of its 50-day average, close behind Topco Media for the best recovery on this list. Relative volume is 1.84x, the highest of any name here, meaning real trading activity has returned. Technical rating remains sell on paper, but the underlying price action tells a calmer story. Beta of 0.33 is low, net income is up a modest 3.8%, and this stock carries a 1.68% dividend yield, a name that looks like it may be finding a floor. 38805V G2 Power, another Korean manufacturing name working in power electronics and energy equipment. Price is 6,800 today, down a sharp 8.6% on the day. 6 days ago, it traded at 7,800, a steep 12.8% decline since we flagged it, one of the larger losses on this list. RSI is 34.3, ATR is 10.3%, price is at 72.3% of its 50-day average. Stock RSI-K has dropped to 47.3. Relative volume is 1.05x. Technical rating has fallen to strong sell. Beta of 0.57 is mid-range. Here's the striking part. EBITDA is up a massive 204.9% and net income is up 131.1% year over year, alongside a 1.34% dividend yield. Genuinely strong underlying growth, happening at the exact same time the stock has fallen double digits. A textbook example of a stock getting repriced lower for reasons that may have little to do with its actual business performance, worth watching closely. 1N5840 Woojin, our second and final electronic technology name, closing out tonight's list. Price is 14,040 today, down 8.9% on the day, tied for the sharpest single-day drop on this entire list. 6 days ago, it traded at 15,800, an 11.1% decline since we flagged it. RSI is 37.3, ATR is 11.8%, price is at 74.6% of its 50-day average, close to the reference profile. Stock RSI-K has fallen to 57.7. And just like Nota earlier, the MACD line has now crossed below its signal line here too. Another profile match where the original bullish hook has broken down since we first scanned it. Technical rating has fallen to strong sell. Beta of 0.60 is mid-range. On the financial side, EBITDA up 81.2% and net income up 72.9% year over year, plus a 1.95% dividend yield. Genuinely strong fundamentals paired with one of the weakest technical pictures on this entire list. So here's the honest scoreboard, 6 days later. Of the 15 names that matched 417,970's exact dip reversal fingerprint, 14 fell further. The average move was negative 8%. Only Topco Media actually turned positive, and Dae Hwa Pharmaceutical came close to flat. 2 names, Nota and Woojin, saw their original bullish MACD signal completely invalidate, flipping from a hookup formation to an outright bearish crossover. And the reference stock itself, 417970 modelsollution, the stock this whole profile was modeled on, is still down almost 6% with no confirmed reversal yet. That doesn't mean the underlying idea is worthless. Several of these names, Wonik PNE, G2 Power, modelsollution itself, are sitting on genuinely strong earnings growth even as their share prices keep falling, which is exactly the kind of gap long-term value investors look for. But the technical signal alone, the deep drop, oversold RSI, MACD hook pattern, clearly was not enough on its own to call a bottom within a 6-day window. 14 out of 15 continuing to fall is a real result, and it's the result we're showing you, not a cherry-picked winner. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The system explicitly is not a buy signal. It identifies stocks sharing a statistical profile with a single reference stock, nothing more. As this 6-day check-in shows clearly, catching a falling knife is exactly as risky as the name suggests. 14 of 15 matched names fell further, some by double digits, in less than a week. Deep drawdown stocks can continue falling for extended periods, and some never recover to prior levels. Past patterns do not guarantee future reversals. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. That's tonight's honest reality check on the 417970 twin profile watch list. We'll keep tracking this reference stock and its statistical twins. If a real reversal does eventually show up, you'll see it here first, numbers and all, good or bad. Subscribe for more transparent, data-driven Korean market coverage, and we'll see you in the next video.